Hello and welcome to lesson 9. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at adjectives as well as demonstrative pronouns for far and near. Adjectives modify nouns by specifying attributes of the noun. For example, in the phrase a righteous nation from Isaiah 26:2, Goy means nation, Zadik. So because there is no definite article, it translates as a righteous nation. Biblical Hebrew has relatively few pure adjectives. To construct relationship is used more often to modify nouns. So in the example, in the place of holiness, because there's a definite article in the absolute form, the whole construct chain is also definite. So in this phrase in Hebrew, Bim, Kom, Ha, Kodesh. Because of the definite article here for Kodesh, meaning the holy, the whole construct chain is also definite, translated as the holy place or in the place of holiness. So for the next example, in a holy place, which is from Leviticus 7:6, Be means in, Makom means place, Kadosh. There is no definite article in front of Kadosh, so the whole construct chain is translated as in a holy place. Adjectives have the following characteristics. Adjectives are declined with the same endings as nouns, except that they do not have dual endings. So in this table, let's take a quick look at what's going on. For the masculine, there's absolute and construct forms. For feminine, there's also absolute and construct forms. So for the masculine singular, absolute form is Gadol. For the construct form of singular masculine is Gedol. For the feminine absolute form is Gedolah. For the feminine construct form is Gedolat. Notice that in the construct form, instead of a hey, it's transformed into a taf. And for the plural form for masculine absolute, it's Gedolim. And in the construct form of the masculine plural, the mem is dropped, so it becomes Gedolei. So whenever we see this yod here, it means that it's in the construct form and plural. So for the feminine absolute plural form is Gedolot. For the feminine construct form for plural is also Gedolot. Adjectives must agree to modify noun in both gender and number. So for these three examples, from Genesis 6:9, a righteous man, in Hebrew it will be Ish Zadik. There is no definite article in front of this absolute form here for Zadik. So the whole construct chain is translated as a righteous man. For evil man, from 2 Samuel 4:11, Anashim, meaning man, plural, Reshaim, evil. So notice that there's an im and an im here because they must match in gender number together to form the correct conjugation. From Job 4:3, a weak pair of hands. Yadaim Rafot. Yadaim Rafot. A weak pair of hands. Next, let's take a look at how adjectives can modify nouns predicatively. A predicate adjective agrees with the noun it modifies in gender number but not definiteness. The verb to be must be supplied in translation. So from Deuteronomy 1:14, the word is good, tov meaning good, ha dava, the word. So the word is good. For the second example from Deuteronomy 1:25, tova ha aretz. So tova means good in the feminine form, and haaretz means the land. So the whole construct chain becomes the land is good. Adjectives can also modify nouns attributively. An attributive adjective agrees with the noun it modifies in gender number and definiteness. The attributive adjective usually follows the noun it modifies. For instance, from Joshua 10:3, a great city, Ir, which means city, Gedolah, great. So because there's no definite article here, it translates to a great city. In contrast, the great city from Genesis 10:12 is rendered as such in Hebrew: Ha'ir Ha-Gedolah, which means literally the city, the great. But in English, we don't need to the, so it's just translated as the great city. Adjectives can also be substantival, meaning it's used as nouns. So, an example here from Isaiah 53:11, a righteous man, my servant, Sadiq Avdi, is is translated in English as a righteous man, my servant, even though there is no word for man in Hebrew. It's just Sadiq, meaning righteous, and then Evdir. This yod here means my, and this word here means servant. So it's righteous, my servant, but in English it's translated as a righteous man, my servant. Adjectives can also express a comparative and superlative. For example, in Genesis 48:19, his brother who was younger, Ahiv ha katon, Ahiv ha katon. Please note that comparison is often expressed with the preposition min, meaning from. So in the example, she's better than her from Judges 15:2. It could be expressed in Hebrew as Tova mimena. Tova mimena. In the next example from 1 Samuel 18:17, my daughter who is oldest, in Hebrew is rendered as BT ha Godola. BT ha Godola. So this word here means daughter, and this word here means my, and this is a definite article. So together it means my daughter who is oldest, because the greatest can also mean the oldest. Please note that superlative is also expressed by a construct phrase in which both construct and absolute use the same noun. For instance, for the example for Holy of Holies, which means most holy from Exodus 29:37, we can see in Hebrew it is expressed as Kodesh Kadashim. Kodesh Kadashim. Next, let's take a look at demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns are pointing words meaning this, that, those in English. They are used to modify a noun either attributively or predicatively. For these two examples, we can see that this nation in the attributive form is expressed in Hebrew as Hagoy, meaning the nation, Hazeh, meaning the this, literally. So together, this forms this nation. In the next example, which is predicative, this is the word. In Hebrew, it's rendered as Je, meaning this, Ha-davar, the word. So together it means this is the word. Demonstrative pronouns may be used substantively, that is, as a noun. So from this example from 2 Samuel 13:17, send this one away, in Hebrew is rendered as Shilhu et Zot. So Zod is the feminine form of this. There are two major groups of demonstrative pronouns, which are near and far. The far demonstratives are the same as the third person personal pronouns. As seen in this table, let's go through them together. For near pronouns, it is je for singular masculine this. For the feminine singular this, in Hebrew it's zot. For plural forms of near, both feminine and masculine forms of these use ele, ele. For the far demonstrative pronouns, for masculine, that in Hebrew is who. For the feminine demonstrative pronoun of that, in Hebrew is he, he. For the masculine version of those, in Hebrew is rendered as hema, hema. For the feminine version of those, in Hebrew is rendered as hena, hena. Finally, let's take a look at some useful vocabulary. For the first word, it means not, usually used with commands. It's a negation. Al, al. For the next word, it's a preposition meaning between. In Hebrew, it's pronounced as bain, bain. The next word is an adjective that means great. In Hebrew, is pronounced as gadol. Gadol. The next word means animal. In Hebrew, is pronounced as haya. Haya. The next word is wise. In Hebrew, is pronounced as haham. Haham. The next word means good or pleasant. In Hebrew, is pronounced as tov. Tov. The next word is heavy. In Hebrew, is pronounced as kaved. Kaved. The next word means who. In Hebrew, is pronounced as me. 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 The next word means give, place, or set. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Natan. Natan. The next word means righteous. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Zadik. Zadik. The next word on the right at the top means small. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Katan for masculine. For feminine form, is pronounced as Ketana. Ketana. The next word means call, proclaim, read. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Kara. Kara. The next word means bad, evil. The masculine form is Ra. The feminine form is Ra'ah. The next word means famine or hunger. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Ra'af. Ra'af. The next word means wicked. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Rasha. Rasha. The next word means feel. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Sade. That's in the singular form. The plural form is pronounced as Sadot. Sadot. The next word is lie down. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Shahaf. Shahaf. The next word is stand. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Shalah. Shalah. And finally, the word at the bottom means name. In Hebrew, is pronounced as Shem. Shem. That's the singular form. The plural form is Shemot. Shemot. Shalom. Thank you for watching this. May you be blessed by the learning of God's language. Thank you.